Hi, good morning, everyone, and once again, welcome to today's live session of Let's Talk About Market. The Nifty index is absolutely flat, but there is a lot of action that is happening beneath. So we'll discuss, what are the interesting trends that we are looking at, and please let me know once you all are able to see my screen properly, and more importantly, if you all are able to hear me properly. Uh, Please give that confirmation in the chat box. Okay. Hi Atul, I hope. Okay, great. Thanks a lot for the confirmation. So let's start with the Nifty index that we do. As always, see, the thing is that the Nifty index, wait, I sorry, there seems to be some. uh, Wait, I'm not sure what has happened. Okay, let me just open it in the Google browser and see. Because just a while I checked back, it was working fine. Okay, that seems to be an issue of edge, I guess. Never mind. So, when we look at the Nifty index, basically what is happening is that the Nifty index is hovering around this breakout point. So, somewhere around this 24,780 to 25,000, 24,980 to 25 zone. That is like a major resistance on the upside, and the Nifty seems to be struggling around there only. So, let me just, open some duplicate tabs as well. And basically what is happening is that even the swing seems to be inching higher, and it is around 78 or 74, I guess. Yeah, so say around 74 it is trading at now. See, please understand one thing, that when we are in an uptrend, okay, so swing reading of 80 can also go to 90, and it can remain for 90 for a while. So say for example something like this, right? It 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 went above the 80 90 level, and in fact from there only we saw a big move. So sometimes these sort of things happen. So that's where trailing with appropriate reversal levels then is important. So anyways, right now what the Nifty index is doing is that it is struggling around this resistance zone. And as we have spoken, that maybe once this trend line breaks on the upside and the Nifty starts sustaining above that, then our eventual expectation will be that this resistance zone, which is like a major resistance zone from a medium term perspective, this will eventually be taken out. Now what can certainly happen is that when the Nifty index, if at all Nifty index breaks out above this, which is what frankly I'm expecting, maybe we can see a rally towards this, and then we can see some consolidation, in which case what can happen is that the swing might go to 90 or so, and then in that consolidation it will again cool off. I mean, that is what the expectation is. Let's see how things unfold over there. Now, one may think of this as positively or negatively, but FIIs, they have started to cover the position in some way. Maybe because I'm bullish, I feel that this is a good sign, because despite a little bit of short covering, the Nifty index has managed to bounce back 600-700 points. So I'm just wondering that what will happen if the breakout happens and they actually starts short covering. Because when they cover shorts, usually you will see even in this case, like you can see over here, there was a huge short covering that had happened. I think maybe this was due to the expiry, but once they start short covering, that is the kind of move that we end up getting, because every day then they will start covering 20, 30, 40 thousand positions, and that can lead to a strong move. Just give me a minute. I'm just trying to see if this can be fixed, because I'm very used to using Edge and all the tabs are over here. Okay, I think this seems to be working fine. Yeah. So yes, that's where we are. And in fact, if I look at any medium-term indicator in sentiment, all of them are pointing towards that only. Be it client plus DIIs. So over here, basically, we take the net number of client and FII, and that usually tends to get into oversold zone when it reaches between 16,000 to 38,000 mark. But recently, it had even touched 74,000. Okay, from where we saw a good short covering rally, and now currently it is around 60,000. So it tells me that in any of the indicator that I look, the medium term outlook is very good. The only thing that I have been mentioning since past few days as well, the only thing that we are trying to navigate is whether we will get this breakout right away, or will we still consolidate a bit and and only then break out. I mean, that is the question that I had. But now, as I'm seeing more and more indices, sort of breaking out and giving a positive signal, it seems like a breakout is imminent. We will wait for the confirmation for this 25,150 to 25,250 zone to be broken out. Now, as I mentioned, that despite Nifty being flat, there is a lot of action that seems to be happening in the indices. I mean, one important development is that the metal index, that seems to be breaking on the upside above the previous high. There was a little bit of consolidation, as you can see on the hourly chart, but after that, it is trying to break out, so that is a good sign. And all we will then need to see is that whether the weekly close also happens above this doji which it has formed. If that is the case, then it's a really good setup, for an good up move. So this is one. The other few index, okay, I am just, yeah, the other few index, that I actually specifically caught my eye today was PSE. That seems to be turning around, and more importantly, in the daily chart, it is trying to break above the 40-day exponential average. So this is a good sign. And also, if you see in terms of chart pattern, it is more like a small inverse HNS, that has developed, and it is trying to break out from that zone. And what is interesting is that many of the stocks within this, appears to be now trying to break out. Gale, I saw bullish crossover trying to break above the 40, and in all these cases, what is happening is that they have retraced around 61.8%, and they are trying to turn around from there. Okay, let me remove the background, and they are trying to turn around from there. So it's a good sign. Need to see how it develops. There are some stocks which were dead, like ONGC. Even there is some signs of life, and also the important thing is that if you see the weekly chart, it has flattened out a lot. So over there, this can be an interesting, stock to watch out for. That is because earlier, actually, to be very honest, I was thinking of this as an inverse HNS pattern. Okay. What eventually ended up happening is that a bigger inverse HNS is developing, I feel, something like this, where basically, this is the shoulder, this is the head, and this is the shoulder that is developing. But yes, I mean, this stock has been a laggard, but I'll tell you why, I found this stock interesting was because when you see the monthly chart, okay, it is the ideal setup that we want, right? So supposingly, if I remove the name, because everyone knows that ONGC is a dud stock, but if you just remove the name and purely look at the chart, then these are the stocks, that I mean, these are the kind of setups that we ideally look out for. The only thing that we would watch out for, in the coming trading sessions and in the coming weeks is that the RMI turns around and it gives a bullish crossover. If that happens, basically this setup would look very good. Something very similar is happening in all the larger PSU stocks. Now, I'm not talking about BDL and all those things, because frankly they have seen a big runaway move, and I'm not sure, I mean, whether how much more upside is left over there. In the best case over there, maybe a bounce of the recent decline can come, but that is all basically the expectation would be. And also one more thing, please remember that, wait, let me open web dot again. Yeah. So one more thing, please watch out for is that, say something like Mazgao Dock or any of the PSUs. Okay, those have run up a lot. Remember that government will come and they will, and at the opportunistic time they will come and they will try to sell the stake. I mean, they will try to sell the stake over here. So all these fancy names where BDL and all those things, the thing is that the market float is very less. Okay, and if the government comes and they start supplying, then it can be a problem. So as I can see in BDL, actually it is below 75. But what was the other name? GRSC. So, anyways, the basic point is that be alert from all those stocks where the holding is above 74, where the holding is above 75%. Okay, because that is where they are vulnerable. And I think if I had read it many places as well, and that the government is looking to divest stake in the PSUs as well. So that's where, if the market conditions are good, and maybe I think IDBI is anyways, government is planning to sell it. If that happens, maybe if that can be that re-rating moment for PSE, I don't know. But to be very honest, the way I am looking at PSU index is that I'm not sure how many people are aware of this, but when you look at the monthly chart of, say, something like PSE index, okay, so what has happened is that a major breakout has happened in, say somewhere over here, okay, basically in 2023. Now it is hard to imagine that almost like a 15-year consolidation ends in 1 year of up move. So what may likely happen is that, I think the bigger trend for the PSU index is up. What may definitely happen is that there will be bouts of pullback. I mean, we have seen one good correction over here. I think this was more than 20%, I guess, if I take it from high to low. So it was almost around 30%, right? So this was a good shakeout that has happened. Uh, I feel that eventually this should rise higher. And if this should rise higher, then the obvious candidates will be all the heavyweights in PSU index. And if you see the PSU construct as well, okay. So this in Nifty index is PSC, and in BSC it is named as PSU index. So now when I look at the components, it is basically Hind Petro, all these guys, then NTPC, ONGC, REC, Power Grid, and all those things. So, what I would want to look out for is that all the stocks which are trading above the 40-month average, okay, and the better setup would be that they have retested the 40-month average and then they are trying to turn around. Okay. So say something like Gale, it tested 40-month and now they are trying to turn around. Okay. NTPC. So these all, so see over here there is still some room left. So maybe this has a risk of going down once. But I'm not sure. I'm just randomly checking all the PSU stocks. Power Grid also something like that is happening. But I remember your channel was forming. So if I draw this channel, yeah. So maybe you might want to wait for a breakout above the channel to see it, or I think on the daily chart, it appears that there is some triangular formation that seems to be happening. Yes, there is this triangle that seems to be forming. So maybe you can look at this. But the broader idea is that the Nifty PSC index, basically over here we have seen a breakout. We should see some momentum going in the way of PSC in the coming days. And I think if the 20-week breaks on the upside, by then what might also happen is that there will be a bullish crossover as well. And then this will indicate that after this up move, this was a consolidation that is complete, and now a new leg of up move is starting. So that is one. I briefly remember discussing about the PSU banks as well, because we had seen that in RRG as well. They were into leading and then they had gone to weakening. So what is happening is that this, if you just remove the name, okay, this is PSU up move consolidation. Probably that should rise higher. Uh, this is very much similar to what was happening in auto as well. Up move consolidation, up move. Something very similar that is also happening in metal, and that is where I'm thinking that there should be a breakout, up move consolidation, and ideally now an up move should happen. So again, so basically PSU index and PSU banks, both seems to be looking up. Now, if you want to find good ideas within that, all you can do is that go to RMI scanner, okay, in the basket, unselect everything, and then look for PSU and PSC, okay. And see over here, we are seeing two new buys today. New buy. So it is IOB. So IOB, I mean the rise is happening above the averages. Uh, so not that ideal, but yes, Gale we spoke about. So over here, so that way you can try to find some interesting stocks. In mostly in monthly, everyone is in sell. Central bank, the weekly is coming in buy. So maybe you might want to dig deeper into this, or you might want to even find it through Dow trend, which are the ones that are breaking above the previous high. So if I do PS, yeah, PSC and PSU bank, okay, lot of stocks are breaking above the previous high on the weekly chart, right? Just filter it by down to up. So you will be able to see BEL, BPCL, CanBank, and all those things. You see Gale is coming over here as well. So basically, you might want to analyze these stocks. There is something wrong with the edge, I guess, because this is not that slow in over here. Let me also try to see it. Sorry, I was looking at the Dow Trend scanner. There is some issue with the edge, I suppose. Yeah. So basically, yes, you can look out for those stocks. So let me just select PSU banks. Hmm. PSU and PSU bank. Okay. So over here, you can see that BEL, after a consolidation, it is trying to break up on the upside. BPCL also, there seems to be some turnaround happening, and maybe who knows if this is like a cup and handle that seems to be forming. But yes, that way you can try and analyze more things. Apart from that, you see, because understand one thing, that the market was in a sideways consolidation phase. Maybe you might find a lot of opportunities even in the strike over insights, where you need to find that which are the stocks above resistance or near resistance, and where is it that the double digit OI reduction is happening. Now see, we had spoken about PSU. Now NBCC is the one. NBCC, Okay, over here, there seems to be some breakout that is happening. So, try to find some stocks through these as well. You might end up, getting some interesting bets, definitely. So, you can try this scan as well. Or the other scan, which I think can also become very helpful, is that try to see Bollinger Bands, which are started to widen. Okay. And in the basket, basically, yes, you can select all the stocks, or if you are into FNO, just select FNO and see ABB. There is a band expansion that is happening. Uh, BEL, again, BEL is coming over here. HAL is coming over here. Okay, so Indian Bank, again, a PSE stock, so that is also expanding. IRDEA. So, you can try to find some interesting stocks over here as well. But mind you, when you do daily, these will be for short term. For slightly more medium term, you might want to see weekly charts. So, in weekly, Bajaj Auto, HCL Tech, Hindustan Zinc, LIC Housing. Okay. So in weekly, actually, there are no interesting setups as such. But yes, basically, this is also another way that can possibly help you to find it. And the other scan that can also help you is that which are the stocks that are crossing above the 40 day today. Okay. Maybe you might just want to limit it to FNO, but yes, I mean, these are the stocks that you might want to check. And you can see that there are again many PSU names that are popping up in this list, right? So try to find. So there are various things that you can explore in our scanners, but I think at the current point of time, Bollinger Bands, exponential average, and strike over insights can be helpful for spotting short term reversals. And of course, RMI is also there, that can help you to find where the momentum is. Basically, you just go over there, select all the stocks, and try to see the stocks which are giving new buy today. And there is a long list that is coming over here. Now see, whenever the lists are such long, okay, and you want to bring it to a lot more less stocks to watch, then try to put additional filters, like in weekly, make it buy and new buy. See, now you are left with 35 stocks out of that 115. If you want to further filter, make it buy and new buy. So now you have stocks, that will be in your focus list, and those are like, five or six. Maybe you want to try to find some interesting bets from this. If it is not visible, then remove the filter from monthly, where you make it, yeah, everything. So then after, from this 35, you might want to see. And if you want to, now see, I have selected all the stocks within this, but generally, if you want more liquid stocks, go to Nifty Total Market and you'll find all the liquid stocks over here. Okay, so you can try to find out this way as well. This can be helpful and help you to find the stocks very easily. So yes, majorly the key takeaway is that there are many sectors that seems to be turning around, and we need to see how the momentum builds over there. PSC, PSU banks, both of them looks promising. Need to see how it unfolds over there. So with that, let me take some questions now. Nifty resistance level is at 25. So yes, correct. So you're right, Atul. I had seen that actually yesterday only. I forgot to discuss. But if we see the, sorry, option chain as well, I mean, of course, you will be able to see it over here as well, that the highest call and put both are at 25,000 only. And so far, despite breaking above the 25,000, these guys are not ready to book out. So need to see how this unfolds. But whenever you see such strong additions on both the side, and see, we are seeing equal amount of basically call and put that is also getting added. Now please remember, this ATM we are considering it as a spot price, right? And that is why it is seeing over here. But the future price is 25,083. The reason we have done ATM to the cash is because in the weekly expiries, more or less the spot levels are, I mean, the premium is slightly above the spot level, and that is why we had changed this logic to checking into cash. But you can see that there is a lot more call and put addition that has happened today, and partly this is one of the reason why we are seeing those sideways consolidation. Okay, so need to see when this unwinding happens. If you want to see the unwinding happening, the best view for you is check the cumulative OI, check combined OI, and for all the strikes. Okay, and try to find where is it now. Now you can see that this blue line is the call option, the yellow line is the put option. When this blue line starts unwinding, that is the point where maybe the unwinding can take place. Else you can also look at the OI change. Okay, OI change is basically, if this blue line starts decreasing, that means people are starting to unwind. So this is another way that you can try and find out if the unwinding is happening or not. Okay, so watch out for this. Of course you will be able to see it over here as well. But yes, this is one way that you can try and spot. Now for swing and there is a question from Raven. From swing and momentum trade, I am using daily and daily averages. Which indicators do you recommend for swing and momentum trade? So I think I had mentioned this earlier as well. See, the relevance of daily RMI. Okay, uh, sorry, for my swing and momentum trades. So, firstly, now, Raven, that it is very important to understand what are the indicators that you are watching. Okay, say for example, I'll just give you an example like RMI. If at all the daily RMI gives a crossover, typically it tends to last for 2 weeks to 3 weeks. Okay, that cycle. So if your time horizon is say 2 weeks to 3 weeks, that's where daily RMI will come into play. So always, if you have seen the session as well, we always try to do multi time frame. So what we try to do is that uh, if your time horizon is say 2 to 3 weeks, then you might ideally want to watch what the daily RMI is doing. Okay, and then try to time your entry exits on hourly chart. Okay, so that way what daily chart will give you is that the broader view, and for execution hourly chart will come into play. So that way there are different indicators. MACD I think is a lot more slower. I mean the cycles over there take a little more time. So maybe if you are using MACD for momentum, then it can be probably 3 to 4 weeks as well. But yes, I mean it totally depends on your which indicators that you're using. Typically, I use RMI, and if I want to trade from say 2 weeks to 3 weeks or somewhere around between 2 to 4 weeks, then RMI helps me in that sense. Nalco, I think Nalco we had discussed deep. Nalco had come on a radar basically through the RRG. If you see metal index, Nalco, when we were discussing, it was, I think, few days back, it was somewhere over here. And over here, after that, basically the momentum has just strengthened only, and which is a good sign. And also, if you see the chart of Nalco, it was good as well because there was a fair bit of consolidation that had happened, and it had started to inch higher. And sadly, there is some issue with Edge. Wait, let me take. So basically, in Nalco, what had happened was that there was an up move, consolidation, and now it is rising higher. So it is a good sign. I think one major resistance level for Nalco will come at 61.8%, which is where it is right now. Okay. So I think the next phase of up move, a larger up move, that if it has to happen, it needs to be break and sustain above the 61.8% retracement mark. Once it does that, probably then the upside level to watch out for would be something like this. Okay, and maybe if it reaches over here, then ultimately it might even end up uh, breaking the high as well. And just to give you a context, I mean, I was studying Nalco very closely earlier. What is happening is that this was a major breakout that had happened in Nalco. Okay, this was a major breakout that happened in Nalco. After that, breakout, retest, and now it seems to be rising higher. So this is like a typical technical textbook pattern that we see that is happening in Nalco. So yes, and in fact even the metal index is looking good. So that's a double confirmation. So it's an interesting stock. Maybe the risk reward might not warrant at this point of time because it has run up a lot, but maybe when we I mean, in such cases, ideally my approach would be to let RMI come back to the zero line, and then when it gives a bullish crossover, I might be interested in that stock. But otherwise, at such levels, when we try to get in, I mean, normally the stop loss ends up getting triggered. So yeah, I mean, but of course, I mean, it can vary on your style. If you want to catch those high momentum stocks and so on, you can definitely try it. In capital market theme, is there some uh Mitanshu, I'm not too sure. Actually, I'm a little skeptical of the capital market index. That is because most of the stocks, I mean, if you see something like BSC, I mean, while it is not breaking down as such, but if you see the monthly RSI, and there are big divergences that are forming on the monthly chart. You take it BSC, you take it MCX, or anything. Okay, these big divergences are developing. Not a very comfortable space for me. I mean, see, it all depends on how people look at it, but not some. I mean, I would rather want to catch something over here than to try and enter over here. That is just the way I think about it. But yeah, yeah. See, for also I will give you one thing to watch. Okay, and that might change my view. Is that if you see Nifty Capital Market, I think it was a monthly negative close that was given over here. Okay, it had done some work over here, but yes, the main thing is that over here, there are two big negative candles. Okay, and this was more like a dark cloud cover that we have seen. So until this high does not break, I will be a little skeptical on this, and maybe I might not be that gung about it as well. If you see on the daily chart, it is finding resistance around the 40 day. And also, I mean, I don't know, I somehow don't feel good about it. So that's it. I mean, it can probably rise higher, but the opportunity that is there in the other stocks are much greater than what is there in capital market. So these are just my thoughts. Maybe I can be completely wrong on that, but I don't know, I'm just not comfortable with that. Can you make a PPT to use scanners you use today, going front and back? So I'm just recapping once again. Today that we have seen in scanners is Bollinger Band. Okay. Then we saw one more scanner that can be helpful for today is the stocks that are crossing above the 40-day exponential average. Okay. That was there. And is there so Bollinger Band widening we saw, exponential moving average breaking on the upside we saw, and also because see Nifty index has been in this range, maybe Strike or Insights can throw up some good stocks probably till the day end, because right now I saw it is all 8-9%. I mean, not that great reduction that we are seeing, but as the day progresses, maybe you might end up seeing some uh, So that's where you might be able to see some interesting ideas. uh, yes, DV, there is some issue with the strike valuation setup, especially for the ones which we are calculating, which is related to market cap. In due course we will fix it. We are actually working on that entire module only, so that those things don't repeat. As of now, what is happening is that we are trying to do a temporary fix, and it is again coming back. So we are actually spending time and trying to make it very seamless for the future. So that's where probably you might not get those spikes that we are seeing right now. So just give us some time. I mean, the team is already working with it, and I'm also coordinating with them wherever they need my help. But that is work in progress. So please wait for a while. We will fix it, and this time we'll fix it for good. Is there a way to filter high liquidity stocks? As I had mentioned earlier, high liquidity stocks, no, but there is something called as volume buzzers. So basically, all the stocks that are buzzing today, you can get those stocks basically in volume gainers. So I mean, these are all the stocks where the volumes would be very high. Wait, let me show it in Chrome. Like you can see over here, there's a big spike in volume. So all this will get captured in this volume gainers. Also in the dashboard, if you want to see any specific index, say for example Nifty 500, you want to see, just go in the dashboard, go on the right hand side on the volume buzzers, and you will see all these stocks where the volume, where there is an uptick in the volume. Okay, so that is what we have as a scanner. How to make watch list from the heat maps and what quantity is allowed. So as I had told you, Deepak ji, I mean, I had explained this in the past as well. Right now, we are not filtering it through the quantity, but in the new version that we are designing, there will be a volume and a value criteria that we will put so that it can help you to remove all the non-liquid stocks. At this point of time, unfortunately, we don't have. Uh, but yes, you might get it in that new version. Now, as I've mentioned earlier as well, you would expect when the new version will come. I can't tell you the timeline because we have missed the timeline few times. So that's where, I mean, there are some development challenges also we face along the way, and that's where it is difficult. But be rest assured that we are working on this and we'll bring this. Okay. In Kolpal, parameters below RMI minus valuation is missing. Yeah, as I mentioned, DV. So we'll check into this. Is it working line showing as zero? No. So, Hina, one more reason why in Chennai Petro the strike valuation setup could be showing zero is because those stocks make losses, right? When losses are there, basically there is no PE. So if you see over here, they are making losses, right, on an annual basis. So when you're making losses, the PE won't be there, and that's where you'll get that flat line or basically zero line. So the places where you're seeing zero, just make sure go in the PNL and see whether they are making losses or no. If they are making losses, then even on the EBITDA, if they are making losses, then EV to EBITDA it won't show anything. Then only market cap to sales, price to book, and all those things will be visible. Okay. Uh, so do you recommend plan for multi-week? Yeah, so yes, good question, Raven. So, do you recommend FII client DII net index futures for multi-week? Yes, I mean that's where I see. I have frankly, I mean, I had done a webinar on this as well, but what I have done is that I have segregated the momentum indicators in few parts. Okay, but I'm not sure why the edge is not opening. Wait, let me do it in Google Chrome. I'll have, because here I was logged in from my wife's account. Wait. So see, I'll show you. Strike PPT. Okay. So over here we had presented this. So these are the indicators that I watch out. Okay, let me take a screenshot of this. Hmm, where has it gone? Yeah, sorry. Okay. So these are the indicators that work for particular time frame. Okay. So for the medium term, FII client plus FII works very well. DII works for the long term as well. Okay, which means it is lot more positional than the medium term. For the short term, we have those daily swing, average swing, and so on. Okay. As I mentioned, see, just to give you the context, see, even in diffusion indicator, what we identify is that 20 as a short term bottom. Okay. 50 as slightly more positional, and 200 is like a long term bottom that can be made over here. So this was the time where 200 DMA went to this oversold zone, and from there we have seen this up move. So that is what we have categorized. I think in one of the webinars I have mentioned that. So yes, you can see it. I think you will be able to find it as well. uh, right. I think in the whatever would be the recent one which I had done, so you will be able to see it over here, because I remember I had done 2 to 3 times this sentiment indicators, and I had explained this as well. So you will be able to see, or else what Rohit sir has explained it, you will get it over here as well in help section. Okay, how to find nifty tops and bottoms using strike sentiment indicators. So over here all the time frames are explained. I mean, if you will go to this, there are all. Put a little later. So in this, see, you can see that sir over here have explained the short term. Then when you see and when you go ahead, then in the medium term, these are the ones. Okay, these are the ones, and you just go through this video. You will be able to see in the strike analytics help option in this video over here, and it should help you to find the appropriate indicators for appropriate time frames. Okay. Yes, HK. I mean, these are all things that are in our I mean, that is there on our plate, and we are working towards that. Just give us some time. We are releasing. See, as I had mentioned earlier, just a few days back, we have gone live with all the indicators with 1 minute delay. Okay. Now there are few bugs that we are seeing. We are fixing that. Once we do that, there are scanners like strike valuation setup and all those things that we want to make it live. Once we have made that live, that's where we'll start adding more new features. But all this alerts, notification, and all those things, that is there. Okay. GP Kalu, yes, I mean, as soon as the session ends, you will be able to see the recordings. So just go to YouTube, just go to strike underscore IC, and once you go to the, sorry, this was the Hindi channel, but strike underscore, yeah, strike money is our English one. Okay, over here you just go to live. So all the sessions that we are doing, all are recorded only. As soon as the session ends, this will move away from live, and you will be able to see the recordings. Okay. So Mandar, I think you had raised the ticket as well about this, right? Of selling option. I mean, we had replied that as such, we don't have the. Uh, I mean, we frankly don't have a good concrete strategy as such. I think the only way, the positional selling that you might can do is through finding where the stocks where the RMI could be in sell and they are trading below the averages. I mean, those can be the ones that can be positional sells. But I mean, that is what I can think of. But we don't have a particular, uh, strategy as such. Trading life has yeah. So thanks a lot, Mandar. Basically, see, we also use it for our research, and we put out. There is something called as India charts over there. We put out our research. So to make our life also easy, we have done this. And as I've said earlier, we are lazy people. We want to scan and do things very quickly, and that's why we had built strike. So there were some challenges earlier, but now it is smoothing out, and in the coming days it will be even more faster. Is it possible to add an option? No. So GP Kalu, we are not customizing it. That is because it puts a lot of load on a server. But to be very honest, I mean, the scans in say 50 EMA, which we have given. Well, so the scans in 50 EMA and 63 MA will not be dramatically different. Okay, there is one way uh, uh, that you can do is that go to the scanners. Okay, wait, let me take Google Chrome only. Go to the scanners. Okay, try to find which are the stocks that are breaking above say 50 EMA. Okay, because 50 is the one that we have given, right? And in this scanner, I mean, in this, so this is trading view. Okay, over here you can do anything, whatever you want. Make it 63. So more or less, if you notice, in most of the cases, even 63 would be breaking. Okay, so this is one probably hack that you can use to find. So you can see over here there is 63 EMA, and this is one way probably you can try and find out stocks which are breaking above 63. Okay, I hope that helps, but that is the only way I can think of. How do I use volume indicator scanner? So volume indicator scanner, Sunil, is very easy. I mean, you have a price volume breakout, then you have a breakout, right? Mandar, so no near-term possibility of adding commodities at this point of time because we have a lot more things to do in equity. We'll first do that. We'll first achieve that. We'll make our system stable and good as well. Maybe after that, we can think of putting commodities and all those stuff. So I think that's it. We have gone a little long today. It's 48 minutes today. So, anyways, thanks a lot for joining, and thanks a lot for all your continued support as well. We had some hiccups in between, but now the system should be stable. Give us couple of more weeks. We are trying to fix those bugs which are there. Once that is done, I think you should see a good seamless system. For yourself as well, which can really help to level up your trading journey. So thanks a lot once again for joining, and see you tomorrow. So I think, yeah, today is Thursday, so see you tomorrow, and let's hope tomorrow is the weekly close. So let's hope if we get some very good confirmations on the chart, say like metals, which are promising a breakout. So need to see all those confirmations, and let's see if we find anything interesting tomorrow. So thanks a lot once again, and see you tomorrow.